Hey wife, hey, it's Wife Strut Wednesday, so we back at it. And this week, you get to peep out my good old bookshelf because I'm in the office because I'm trying to get my life together. So, let's talk about all the things I have to do. Let's talk about what just happened. Literally come in here, set up everything, get on here, chat with y'all for a second, and what do? Step into pee. Which is the second time today because earlier this morning I was trying to find socks. Y'all know how that goes. Took me a century, like literally 15 minutes to try to find some dadgum socks. And then when I find some, I'm like, praise the Lord, got these on. I step in pee. We have been potty training this dog Sasha for like, who knows how long. And the thing is, she's super smart. She's just ornery and stubborn. And I guess when she decides, she's like, yeah, this is a good spot, I'm gonna be here. And I figured out when I step in it stresses me out. Anyway, so that's been going on all day. I got dishes to clean, food to cook, trainings to design, supporting and encouragement to provide, assignments to grade. I don't know if y'all get the memo, but I got a ton of assignments to grade because the end of the semester is near and that's part of the struggle of the end of the semester. So in between all my other things, I have assignments to grade, but the end is near. Workouts to do, workouts to complain about doing, meals to prep, just things. I got things to do. When am I supposed to get it all done? So needless to say, there's a whole bunch of struts happening in my life. Wife strut, umbrella, dog mom strut, get healthy strut, food prep strut, clean this house strut, have some coffee strut. That's always important. Coffee strut. Just a ton of things to do. Now, as y'all know, this ain't nothing new. My sister's graduation is coming up. Whoop for her, but we're on a deadline because I got assignments to grade. Needless to say, I'm trying to get it together. And so here I am in the office because after a while, with all the stress that we have, we know that sometimes we get out of balance. And lately, I am feeling so freaking out of balance. And I've been out of balance for a minute, I feel, but I wasn't wanting to take the time because taking the time to think about your balance requires time. Then you have to deal with the fact that you're out of balance when it's just easier to keep going in the rat race and not getting anywhere but going nowhere fast, if you will. My life right now. So I have decided to make a list, get it together, apply it, and go from there. So I thought I'd just share the honesty of it all with you because I know I cannot be the only person who has a million things going on. I'm trying to find some balance, yet not drop any balls. And the juggle/struggle is beyond real. Let's talk about it. The one thing I have going for me is that I got a 2-week stretch, like just get through the next 2 weeks. We'll get most of the things, well, the daily tasks are not going to change, right? They have to get done, but the way I deal with them will be better and different, hopefully. My sister's graduation is in 2 weeks, so if I can just get through the next 2 weeks, get to the graduation, that'll be the same deadline for all my grades, and so even though it's going to be a madhouse, it will be done. Pause, breathe, praise Jesus, drink. Maybe. Most ain't never killed nobody. Just saying. So, the 2-week countdown. In the meantime, I cannot survive the next 2 weeks like this because it's just insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again, expecting different results, which apparently I've been doing for probably the last 2 months. So what I decided to do was think about what I could do, be better, whatever. And so I'm a big advocate for accountability, and I will take accountability for myself before I place blame on anybody else because, well, accountability is empowering. Like, you know what, my bad, I did that on that, not doing great at that, suck at that, didn't always feel good. Empowering nonetheless. I'll take that hit, thank you, right? So when I think about accountability, it's like, okay, so Shay, what is wrong? Well, what's wrong is that I'm out of balance, and what can I do about that? What parts of it is out of balance? I'm just kind of on go. I'm a big planner, sometimes planning to a fault. There was a time in life, side note, there was a time in life where I scheduled everything. I mean, I had a 24-hour paper planner back in my day, right? Paper planners. I wrote it all out. I had to get one of those family planners so I could have 4 columns so that that's a full 24 hours of the day. And I was writing in everything. If you got a pen, it was definite. If it was a pencil, you might get dismissed. But when it gets to the point where you are literally scheduling shower time, which I used to give myself as a treat, the only thing left to schedule is, you know, poop time. And that's just unpredictable. And we're just getting way too far. So sometimes I can go way over the edge with planning and using my planner. So sometimes I pull back, but the detriment is that like 2 different sides of the spectrum. And then when I pull back, what happens? Things get out of balance because it's just like, I just go with it. I know this has happened about this time. It's kind of like hour to hour, not like scans of the whole day or like these are big things this week. So accountability, when I was talking about all the struts and all the things that I have going on, my brain is in all these different places, right? Trying to manage all the different things that pop up or that I know that are coming and then you can't do the unpredictable things, right? So I train by day. You guys know that. I spend a lot of time training, and the issue with spending a lot of time training is before you can train, you have to develop. So when you're in development mindset, it's like creativity you're pouring out to give to everybody else, and that's great. But when you're giving, sometimes you don't stop to replenish. And in order to replenish, you have to know what you depleted and what you need, which means you have to self-assess. So here we are, me taking accountability for the fact that I have not self-assessed and that I know better, because those who teach should do. Another story, another day. But anyway, so I was thinking about what is it that you tell other people when they're in these situations that you're not applying or telling yourself? And so some of the things that I thought back to in past trainings were the circle of control or circle of concern. You can look up both. You get very similar things. But the concept of that I love is that it's a sphere, right? Where the center circle is small, it gets wider and gets wider. And so when we talk about the things that we can control, accountability to me is taking ownership. I did or didn't do this. Those are things I can control. I do or do not know this. Those are things I can control. So the center is what you can control. It's the smallest, right? What can I control with being out of balance? Well, I can control the things I give my attention to. I can control assessing and then finding priorities of what it is that I have to do, right? And then what can you influence? Well, that circle is a little bit bigger because you can influence more than you can control. I can't make this change, but I can say, hey, do you mind if I move this around in the schedule? Or, you know, this really is of higher concern right now that could yield us better results. That is influence, but I can't make someone do something that I need that would suit me. And then you have the things that are of, they say, concern to you, right? Because they might be in your brain, aware of it, puts pressure on your world. It's constantly taking up your brain power, but you can't influence it nor control it. I love that Larry Sin says that is called gravity, right? We don't wake up every day and be like, oh my gosh, this is gravity. It's just holding me down. You know, we might complain about things like gas prices. Oh my gosh, it's freaking gas prices. But we cannot change it. So we just deal with it and we pay to have gas because we need to get around, right? So I started trying to think of my life, like, what are the things that are giving me the most angst or that are causing the most, that's throwing off my balance? And typically those things seem to be gravity. Because if it's not gravity and I can influence or control it, then I should do that, right? So what I've decided to do and have done to try to balance this is sit down and go through all the things that I can think of that are utilizing my brain power. Go through my student schedule, not just that I have grading, but which grades are coming up, which ones still need to be done for which courses, right? In which order, with what weight, and attack those first. And then go in order to get that done and checked off my list. Some things haven't even been due yet, and even though it's coming up in the next 2 weeks, why give my energy to what I'm gonna have to grade when I can grade what's in front of me? Students that have all kind of emails and it's an emergency for them right now, get back to me. Listen, when I'm in grade mode, don't even look at those emails, because if I get caught up in the emails and the responses, I won't finish the grading. So things like that of control, but that's only in my after hours, because during the day, there's a whole nother level of control and influence, right? Because I'm on deadlines for the things that I provide as far as training, which means I have research. So where am I on my checkpoints of research? So I have to reanalyze my timelines and when things are going to be due, when trainings are coming up, and then, you know, prioritize which segment has to be done when. Okay, the conference is coming up first, deal with that. Then the other training that comes after that, then deal with that, right? So I know I talk about it and like, do this, then do this, do this, when in our brains, there's these concurrent things happening, but we can't be multiple places at multiple times. And I mean, multiple places at the same time, because we can be in multiple times, whatever, you know what I mean? But we can't be in multiple places, and we say we're multitasking, we're just shifting attention. So we're actually not multitasking most of the time. So I need to break things up in task by task, because I can't get all of this done at one time. And if I try to, it's impossible. But if I even allow it to take up my brain power for the task that I'm not on, worrying about what I have to get to next, and I'm not doing what I'm doing efficiently, and I'm using up all my brain power, and it's even things that, you know, I can't control, but the time is gravity. I can't do anything about time. I can just do something about how I utilize my time, right? So I'm working on it. It's a struggle, but I ought to do the things that I know. It's what I train. So, I don't know, guys. I'm just saying that things are out of balance, and I'm working on getting it back in balance because it's something I need. Especially when all of the roles that we have sometimes connect to other things and priorities and people. And I know it's very difficult. It's difficult for me to give the time that I need for my things aside of work, sanity, you know, give myself 5 minutes to breathe, or whatever the case may be, when I got a lot of things juggling and going on. So I'm just saying to you, if you also are struggling and out of balance, you are not by yourself, because this girl is trying to get it together. Process, nonetheless. So I know the information. In theory, I have the skill to do it. It's just applying it and making time to do it. So I told y'all that's what I'm working on. We're gonna see how it goes for the next 2 weeks. Looking forward to just submitting grades, enjoying the graduation, and then breathing. I won't even hopefully get to try to make it like a mini little vacay, because you try to do that when you have to go elsewhere, you're married, you don't have time because all y'all schedules are crazy, which is my life right now. But nonetheless, in the meantime, we just got to get there. And so I'm going to try to get there with a strategy. Y'all see my shirt? Date night is my favorite night. So true, but I don't even have the energy to try to create date night. The thing is, I work, so I'm trying to get myself into the zone of like, maybe you don't have the energy for date night, meaning with your spouse, maybe, you know, intentional, but do you have time to have date night for you? Meaning collect data. Girlfriend, hey, checkpoint, which is what I did. Girlfriend, you are out of balance. Can you collect some data on yourself so you can figure out what you need so that you can get back in balance? Is it some time? I need some time. I need even time just to find the time, right? And I just find that for myself, when I can take a minute and focus on me, can you focus on me? That's been in my head all freaking day. Kill the vibe. I know y'all vibing with that. You don't gotta like it, don't matter. That was my moment, but it's in my head. And it's like, take a minute to focus on myself so I can figure out what is that I need. I'm gonna call that dating myself, even if the date isn't so fun, because I find that when I do get those things checked off and things back in order, at least have an approach to it, I can breathe. And I'm like, okay, now I have a plan. So for the rest of this week, I'm gonna finish my plan tonight, and I'm gonna try to implement it. No, I'm going to implement it. Remember that you never say try. One of the things we tell people in training all the time, you don't say, what am I gonna try to do? No, you say, what I'm going to do. Because when you say try, that's what your ears hear, and then your actions follow, right? Because we're speaking to ourselves, and our brains and our ears, they connect, and we are very smart people. So I am going to make the list, implement the list, focus on me, focus on the needs, so I can focus on all the other struts that also need me. So if you have anything else that you can think of that you do that's helpful, by all means share it in the comments. Let me know I'm not by myself. Let me know that sometimes we're struggling, and this struggle, juggle, strut ain't no joke, but we here for it. Until next time, ladies, keep on strutting. The wife strut is yours. Own it, even when it ain't so great. Hang in there. I'll see y'all next time. You know I'm always checking for your strut.